Hello everyone, it's Crafty Carol here from Northern Ireland with another little video for you. And I'm making this card. Now this I got the idea from a German demonstrator who is, trying to remember her name, Wiffchens Batelstube. So thank you very much and for the idea. And I've called it a Criss Cross card because obviously the black bits crisscross. So I don't know if you can see the detail in it too, but there's I've used the stitch shaped dies. I'll go through what you need for it. Really easy card to make. It looks stunning, and just a simple greeting inside. This was just a very simple hello card. So what do you need to make this card? Well, I'll go through the various bits of card you need first. Obviously an envelope, don't forget to decorate it. I've already done mine, put it to one side. So the bits of card you need a basic card base in basic black. So that is 21 by 14.8, scored in the middle at 10.5, obviously enfolded. So that's your card base. Then to make the bit at the front, you actually need, that's the bit for the inner. Let me talk about that one first then. I've already stamped this, as you can see. And this is 9.5 centimetres by 13.8. And that's for the inside of the card. So you can stick that on actually in a minute. Then to make the front, you need two pieces the same size. And these are 10, both 10 by 14.3. So 10 by 14.3. And they're the same size, okay? So you can put them together, they're the same size. And that's important because of the way we're going to stick them together. Then you need two other scraps. One that is, and this is an important measurement, this is 4.3 centimetres by 4.3 centimetres. And it's a square. So you're going to cut one of those. I've actually already done mine in a different colour because I wanted a coordinating colour to match with this. And you also need a scrap of white that is big enough so that you can cut out from it using the second smallest stylish shape die. So for this card, you can actually make it with different shapes, and I'll put some, in the blog, I'll put a picture of other ones made with different shapes, but any sort of shape with corners, it's important they've got a shape with corners, won't work with circles. So you need, these are from the Stylish Shapes dies, and I've used the second, third and fourth size one. You can't use the circles. You could use, and I'll put that on another card and show you, the hexagons from the, now what's it called? I'll get the name of the, I can't remember what they're called, but I'm using, for this card, I'm using the Stylish Shapes. I'll put the hexagon one in the blog and you can have a look at that, and I'll put the die names because I can't remember it. Beautiful Shapes, I think it might be called, or something like that. Anyway, now the other important thing is that when you are cutting the black pieces of card, you'll find, because you're cutting them 10 by 13.8, you can get 4 out of one sheet, but you get left with a 1 centimetre strip. And what you do with that is you cut it in half. So you end up from one sheet with several, more than this actually, because I've already used some on the cards, several little half centimetre strips. So you want strips half a centimetre wide. Our trimmers are wonderful. If you actually put a 1 centimetre strip down, let's find something that's vaguely 1 centimetre. There's a white one to show you. If you actually put one there, you can see you've got half a centimetre either side. If you jam it up at the top, use the lines that's already on the trimmer, and then very carefully close the trimmer and hold it down. It holds that in position so you can end up cutting it beautifully in half. Do you see how that's cut exactly in half? And both of those are half a centimetre wide. So you want to do that with your remnants of black card. I don't know why I've cut those white ones. We'll just get rid of those. We don't need those. I suppose you could do it as, you could do one that's white and black. Might do one of those just to see. That might be fun. Anyway, let's get on with this card. So I'm using second, third and fourth sizes in these. So we're going to start off with the largest size, and that's the one we're going to cut the front of the main card out from. So we're going to place it on the card, make sure that it is actually vertical. So I can use one of the lines on my desk to make sure it is, yes. So we want to make sure that is vertical, and then use a little bit of oops, dropping my bits, little bit of tape, washi tape, or any sort of tape that'll hold it in place. Obviously not tape that's going to lift and destroy your card. Just a little bit of sticky tape just to hold it in place. As I say, washi tape works really well, or this is low tack tape that you can get from craft shops. So once you've got it in place, we're going to run it through the machine, and I will be back in a minute. So here I am back, and I've cut that out with the machine, so we can very carefully take the tape off. It'll come out with the square. Now we need to keep this square. Do not get rid of that. That's important to keep. So I'll just put that to one side for a minute. So we're going to keep that because we'll need it in a minute. But this is how we're going to line up to make sure that we get the cutout from the black in the right way. So we're going to put those two, this is why it's important to have the two pieces the same size. So we put that one there, and then we can slot in the next size, which is the black, on the black card, the next size down die, and again stick it in place. So if I can get these bits off that, put that on. Not sticking it to the top card, I'm going to move that. Now I've got it in place, I can move my top card and make sure I've stuck this down. Use my other bit. It's gone really dark. Oh, get another bit because that one's just playing silly buggers. Right, so there we go. That's that one in the right place. This is why I'm using the low tack tape to hold it down. And again, I'm going to go and run that through my machine. So here's my second piece cut out. So I can gently ease that off. And there is my cutout. When I put those together on top, let me just get rid of this tape so it's not sticking around. That bit you don't need, so you can get rid of that, use that in something else. But when we stick these together, as you'll see, because they're the same size, we get an even size border all the way around. So we're going to go ahead now and stick these two pieces together. So there's the two pieces stuck together, and now this is why we wanted to keep this bit, because we're going to stick this bit over the aperture at the back. So that just needs a little bit of glue around the edge of the aperture. My glue's running out again, as it always does on these videos. Sod's law, always runs out at the same time. Right, so putting glue around there, and then we're going to stick this over the back. It doesn't really matter which way round it goes, but there we go, because we're not going to see it. It's just we need it stuck on so that it shows through the front like that. So that's our base ready put together. Then to do the decoration, lost my card now, oh there we go. To do this decoration, this is where the strips come in, because we're just simply going to line the strips across the existing black lines, and we just do each in the same direction, and it gives us that geometrical pattern. So if I get one of my strips here, I'm going to lay it along there and stick it there. So I need to put glue to that mark. So I just use, you could use the fine tip glue. I tried to use mine a minute ago and it's all jammed up. So I'm either going to have to buy another one or get my husband on unjamming it so that I can use it again. So, oops, that's not very good. I'll get it all over the desk now. That's what fingers are for. I'll get rid of it. Rub the bits off. Right. So just got glue on the back of that strip, and I'm going to line it up with the corner, like carefully along so it matches the black strip below and covers that, and then up to the end. Okay. So we can then trim that end off. And this bit isn't quite long enough for there. That's all right. I can use a different bit. So I'll do this piece next. So I need to get that down to there. So again, lining it up. So I butt it up against the piece I've already put down, line it up with the edge, and make sure it's right to the edge there. And again, I can trim it. And then we're going to do exactly the same for the other two pieces. So again, my next strip, butt it up to the edge that you've just stuck down, take it to the end so it's to there. So you butt it up, it almost looks invisible by the time you've got them all on. That's why the butting up bit is really important. And making sure it lines up just with the strip underneath. There we go. And finally, nope, not long enough, this one should be the last piece. I'm really going to have to get another glue on time. There we go. So again, butt it up, line it up, press it down. And trim it off. So there's how we make that geometrical pattern. How simple and easy is that? Looks stunning, but it's really as simple as that. Now, to get the bit in the middle, for this one, I made two mistakes. Firstly, I just cut out the next size down, which has left me quite a wide border, which I don't actually want. And I've also stamped the flower the wrong way around, but don't look too closely at that and then nobody will notice. Okay, here's a little extra video that I've used just to show you how I did the centre of this card. I thought I needed to do something to show you a bit more. So this was my piece, 4.3 by 4.3. And as you can see, I've used the second smallest of the stitched Stylish Shapes squared eyes to cut out the centre. So I've left a rim round there. Now, what I did before was take that centre out. I think I'm going to leave it in, and I'm actually going to just stick a little bit of tape to hold it in place. Now I've cut it out, but I want to see I needed to cut it out because I needed the stitched shape bit. So I'm actually going to stick this in with its parent, just using a little bit of tear and tape all the way around the edge. And that will just hold it in place. So now I've got a base for my second piece that's cut out with the same die, but obviously I've just taken the inner piece now. And what that allows me to do is, if I wanted, I could put dimensionals on that and have it raised from the base then. And I might actually do that and then stick the base down fully when I come to make the next card. So I hope that little extra video that I'm just going to put in the middle shows what I did there. Now, when you're stamping, because I've forgotten this, you're stamping in this direction. It is set as the points up and down, so you want to stamp there. So when I'm stamping with my stamp, oops, let me just get this off, there we go. So when I'm stamping, I'm going to use this actually with a base of Orchid Oasis. So I'm going to use Orchid Oasis for my stamp. I'll get my stamp the right way up and just ink it up, and then this is my up and down, so I'm in the right place to stamp it in the middle there. There we go. And while I'm at it, I can stamp my envelope and also the inside of my card. I can do all of these, I suppose, but I'm not going to bore you with all of those. That wasn't very good. Let me just try that again. The beauty of clear stamps is that we can restamp by just simply looking through, which is just great. There we go. So that's my envelope done. I shall finish that with the centre in just a second. I don't know why I'm cleaning that, because I need to use it with the stamp for the middle anyway. And then I'm going to use Early Espresso I've used as the centre for the flower. So this is my little tiny stamp that's got the flower centre. And I'm just lining that up in the middle. And there we have the stamp in the middle. So that's my flower, and I'm going to just put a few leaves on it in a minute, so I'll show you how to do that. But I'll just do the other stamp's flower centres while I'm here. There we go. So let's get rid of some of these ink pads before I get it all over my fingers, which I just have done. Honestly, so messy. There we go. So I'm going to use the leaves in green. Now, the leaf stamp is actually quite long, because when I'm stamping it in the centre of the card, you can see it's quite long below the flower centre, which is fine. But for the front, I actually want it to show a bit closer, so I actually want to stamp it here. But if I just inked it up and stamped, you can see I'm going to have the stem right across the middle of my flower, which I don't want. So I'm just going to ink up as much as I can, just that area. Try it out, and I've got that about right so that my ink only comes part way up, and I can use my cloth just to take off any ink I don't want there, and that means that I can stamp right up to the flower here without getting it across the flower. There we go. In fact, I haven't done that quite long enough. But that is the beauty of stamping right markers, and I can remedy that very easily. But you can see there I've actually got enough leaves coming up on the stamp here, so if I just grab my stamping right marker, I can extend. There we go. You'd never know. Extend that into my flower. So that's how I've done the fronts of these. So for this one, I'm actually going to put it on here with dimensionals rather than put the whole thing on dimensionals. And then, I seem to have got my tiny dimensionals. Never mind, I'll just use a few more of them. There we go. Stick that on, lining it up carefully with the die cut out. There we go. Oh, I don't need my dimensional backings there. They're stuck to my fingers. Get rid of those. There we go. So that is now my centre for the next card, and I can stick this flat, and my flower bit is actually sticking up on dimensionals. You can just see that. Yeah? So that's how I've done the centre. I just wanted to do that little extra video to show you. Okay, back to the main card. And then having done that, we can go ahead and stick that to the front of our card. Or we can do the stamping first. I'll do the stamping first, I think. So this is going to be a thank you card. You can see I've already stamped the inner bit. And I've used, I'll just tell you the stamp set I'm using actually. It's the Sending Smiles stamp set, which comes with a load of dies. There's lots of different nice flowers, but I found this one actually fitted very nicely into the shape I wanted at the front, and I've just used the end of some of these leaves to add to that. The Note of Thanks, that's also from the Sending Smiles stamp set. In the other one I'd used another one from Sending Smiles, a card to say hello. There's a lot of lovely sentiments actually in the set. Love and big hugs, birthday wishes, note of thanks card to say hello, comfort and strength, smiles across the miles. So there's lots to choose from in here, whichever you want to send. But I actually wanted a thank you, just a plain thank you on the front. So I've actually used it from the Something Fancy set, which again has a lovely set of beautiful ones. So on this one, I actually used the Nothing Fancy, Just Love. On this one, I'm going to use thank you. And I'm going to stamp it just in memento in this space here. So get my memento, ink my stamp up, and then we'll have thank you just there. There we go. So now it's just a matter of putting all of these together. I've got my desk covered in bits, really. And I need to not lose my dies. Let me put them together over there. Right, so another bit to there. Let's just stick these together. You could, if you wanted, put another layer. You could put another coloured layer, so you've got two, but it's already quite thick because it's got quite a lot of layers on the front. So I decided I didn't want an extra layer inside. So this just has a narrow black border around because, of course, we've cut these at 10 by 14.3, so it's got my usual first layer for a card. So don't you think that looks quite stunning? It's beautiful. Might even put a little bit of Swink of Star on my flower, actually. That would look nice. And just to finish it off, I've got the In Colour, what are they? In Colour Pearls, they're called. So I'm just going to use 2 or 3 of those down the side of my card, just for a little bit of extra bling. Which one is it? This one? Yeah. So we'll have just 3 little pearls down here, I think. Try and get them roughly similarly spaced. Yeah, there we go. You could obviously add more bling if you wanted. You could stamp elsewhere on the card. Totally up to you. But I quite like the simplicity of it. So I just stamped the flower with the centre. There's a little tiny flower centre. It's a tiny stamp. Don't lose it for the centre of the flower. So that's my thank you one. Let's get rid of these in a minute. There's my first one. My Nothing Fancy, Just Love one. So I hope you like these little crisscross cards. As I say, if you go to my blog, you'll find the full instructions there. I definitely prefer this one with the wider and bigger centerpiece there upon dimensionals to that one. Still nice, but yeah, that's a definite improvement to me. It's also got slightly more stitched edging. So I've now got stitched edging around the edges of here from the original cutout, and also here. You cover up the black stitches, obviously using your black strips, so you can't see those. Anyway, that's my idea for a Criss Cross card. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel so you can catch the other videos I do. And if you want more information and the full instructions, please go to the blog at craftycarolscards.co.uk, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.